Well, let's go ahead and call this, we'll get it here in the meeting. 6 o'clock, welcome to the City of Aiken Planning Commission, meeting for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. This is, gonna read the guidelines for public comments for the City of Aiken Planning Commission meetings. Meetings are public forums in which many opinions are expressed and the business of the city must be conducted. As such, discipline, honorable, and professional decorum is paramount. Courteous and respectful communication is required. During public comment periods of the meeting, all questions and statements from the public shall be directed to the chairman. And if you wish to speak, please raise your hand. The chairman will recognize you. Please approach the podium and state your name and address. In order to allow an opportunity for everyone who wishes to address the commission, the speaker should limit their comments to the agenda item or application being discussed. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to address an issue and may only address an issue once unless questions from the commission are posed to the speaker. We don't have applications tonight, so I don't anticipate any speaking engagements. Saying such, we will move into the approval of the minutes from January, the work session minutes from January 9th, 2025, and the approval of the work session and regular meeting minutes of January 14th, 2025.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Erb, second by Commissioner Clayton. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your hand. And the minutes are adopted unanimously. We don't have any old business. Our only new business tonight is the consideration of the 2025 to 2030 major capital improvement program. And I'll just read this first paragraph from the memo on what this is. Section 2-140 of the City Code requires that the Planning Commission to prioritize a list of capital improvements and make such a recommendation to the city manager at least 90 days prior to a new fiscal year. Our fiscal year starts July 1. Therefore, this recommendation should be voted on by the Planning Commission as part of the February or March regular meetings. And to assist this process, the city manager's office requests that all department heads compile a recommended prioritized list of capital projects for the next 5 years, so that the recommendation and project information may be considered by the Planning Commission. So what this is a list of capital expenditures for each individual department that have been compiled by those department heads, and these are typically funded from capital sales tax and other pockets of money. The Planning Commission's charge tonight is to review and approve or recommend to City Council. Is that correct? And City Council have final say-so on these projections. So is there, I'm trying to think, there's no applicant here. The department heads are here.
There are a couple things. Could I bring up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, because this is not an actual application, typically Robert's rules are motion and approval, but we'll go ahead and discuss some of the items that may have come up. And then we'll discuss those, and then we'll move into a motion.
A couple things. I talked with Mike P. prior to coming up here, and the typo on the list of
Try to be specific as you can.
for the tank painting and Southern Corrosion contractor.
And this is under
What topic?
yeah,
Would have been one.
right here, Sam, is where the
3161?
that doesn't mean
There is
anything.
How does that help
31
us?
Oh, 3161, yes.
Yeah, it's
Engineering and Utilities Shaw Creek, 002-3161 Division.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, about 5
Pete,
in.
you see that?
Yep.
I don't believe it's $852 million. Okay. Too many zeros, Mike said. Yo, it's 852,368. Correct? Okay, let that be known as a correction.
All right.
Another thing that I'd like to bring up that was interesting, and Mike, you can help me out, was on the very first one, I think it was, which is fund name, well,
The one underneath airport.
the airport. That 8 million $827,559, I understand, is a grant, and it just has to be gone through the budget. So I thought that was an interesting point.
That full amount is the grant. The full grant was written for $8 million.
Through the FAA.
Most of these are funded by the FAA, correct? That's what I thought. Well, that's good.
Are we constructing a new helipad or just repairing the one that's already there? Oh, we're constructing a whole new helipad? What do we anticipate the uses of that to be? I mean, obviously helicopters, but
Usually helicopter. Emergencies. There's also some, I guess, clients with some of the industry coming in and some of the transportation needs between here, Columbia, and Charlotte of the need for that. Plus, it pushes the helicopters, which don't fly as high in altitude. There's not as much traffic for that in that area. So FAA is kind of really wanting municipal airports to provide that.
And this is also too, this cost also, it's not just the helipad, it's the complete rehabilitation of a full runway too.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of involves all of that, but you have to separate it out as the grants come in.
Well, the airport staff will just have to make sure they're efficient. If there are more and more helicopters coming through, we all saw that disaster. So from a traffic control standpoint, if we are adding more helicopters, we need to be cognizant of adding the appropriate amount of traffic control for those type things.
Yeah, and as we start doing these runways, we'll probably at some point, 3-4 years from now, we probably putting a tower up.
oh really?
Okay.
We for the masters and all, we go in with, Mike Laban to basically rent a tower.
Okay.
Can you just give it maybe a bit more context, like what's the general usage of the airport currently? What kind of usage are you expecting into the future to kind of, facilitate all of these upgrades, et cetera?
Well, there's a lot more. We've added on the hangars. We've removed some older hangars to allow more parking for bigger planes, and then we've added a few more hangars. And in here you'll see some hangar rehabilitation for larger planes. We're getting a lot more larger planes. Of course, with the industry around, Bridgestone, MTU. The Meta coming in, some of the cyber stuff, plus the Masters itself. We're just getting larger planes. That's why we're, redoing the runways. We're going to concrete instead of asphalt, so we can, hold up heavier planes. Redoing some of the hangar areas and aprons for the larger planes. It's just, unfortunately, we don't have the tower, which then with that, then we could get maybe, FedEx or UPS or something
Okay,
like
right.
that. So the problem with that, though, is the amount of land and where it's at. So we're kind of landlocked in a sense, but we're trying to get it as big, for as much traffic.
So the end goal would be to build a tower, have more traffic come in, even from, industries such as UPS, FedEx, et cetera.
Yeah, it's having that area, though, the land mass. It's having the land mass for them to have a hub or something like that. Of course, the next thing is just to get a tower instead of having to rent one. And then from there, maybe see what land use we can do out of that.
Thank you.
Hey,
But right now, it's just larger planes are coming in. We're getting more traffic at the Masters. I think last year we had 700 flights.
Oh, wow.
Which was up from the year before.
well, it's a major boom for our economy too. If they can, more and more planes can land here safely, and they can come to town here rather than going to eat and that type stuff. Mike, just point of clarification I made, starting the meeting, that we would recommend this to go to city council, which is what we do, but do these go to city council, or are we recommending these to city manager and then they're approved? Do you remember?
No, they go to council.
They do go to council?
Yes.
Okay. So they'll be on the next meeting okay.
Out of curiosity, you talked about how we're getting more people in the Masters, which is fantastic, which is great. We want to, capture as much of that traffic as we possibly can. Can you speak a little bit more about the increase in traffic that we've had year over year, maybe over like the last 5 years or so? How much more we're kind of capturing and how much more we maybe anticipate to capture?
I don't know exact numbers, but I know that the shuttle service has grown. There are three more shuttle services that have kind of offered themselves in that area at that time. We did have some studies with the arts, with the Arts for Augusta and the CSRA, and we did some studies on the intersection off of the I-20 at exit 22, the amount of traffic. So it's probably at some point, although DOT, I don't know they're not doing much with bridges right now, but that will be one of the next ones, I think, in that area, that intersection, off ramps, on ramps, just red lights and traffic will be one of the next ones through that study that they'll probably look at. DOT-wise, because of the amount of traffic coming in and off.
But I mean, with in terms of like the air traffic, because like you said, we had 700 people during the Masters.
Yeah, we had 700. Yeah,
but you said it was up, so like I'm trying to.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So it was just close to 625 last year.
Gotcha. And so
or
we
the
now,
year before. So
and then 700, and we're looking to keep beefing those numbers up as much as we can.
Of course, we're upping some fuel storage. We did some rearranging with fuel storage last year. In order to put some berms up and containments that for some of the jet fuel that more that we're using. So yeah, we're looking. Hopefully we'll get 750 or
Yeah, fantastic. Like the chairman said, this is great for our economy, so we want to keep beefing that up as much as we can.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go back to 3161 Division.
Yes, sir.
For the engineering utility, just for point of understanding.
Yes, sir.
I understand Commissioner Erb was talking about the 181 million. That's for 2029. That's the total. Because I was asking, my question is on the estimated project expenditures by years. Are those figures correct? Or do they need to be addressed as well?
The estimated would have to be addressed as well, yes.
Yeah, so those numbers need
Correct.
to be, okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, one definitely would affect the others.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 850 and not 850
So
million.
all of them would need to have those
Yes,
extra three
that's what I was
zeros.
looking at, yes.
Yeah, all those numbers
Well,
need
a
a zero
dot.
taken off of them.
Decimal and then 1 0 removed.
Yeah.
Mike, can I ask another question? I hope I don't mean to be. We have a landfill?
Do we have a landfill? Yes and no.
Okay, not for public use, obviously.
Correct. It's not really for any use.
That-
The landfill has been capped, and we have monitoring wells to check the methane levels.
Gotcha,
We use portion of it as a laydown yard
gotcha.
for our sand and gravel and
Oh, that's
aggregate.
still off the bypass? Is that
Yes,
the same?
Buford,
Okay.
Yes. But the landfill itself is not usable because it's been capped, and we just do, EPA comes in and does methane monitoring.
Okay, yeah.
Some of the well ports that we have.
One more question.
Sure.
Sure, I'm glad you came tonight. Yeah. The Crosland Park water, I think it was what, 6 million? Here it is. 6 million over 2,400,000 this year, 3,600,000 next year. What about other areas like down Colleton Avenue, where that you know, there's infrastructure that's old. I own a number of homes off of, you know, it's not water now, it's probably sewage. That's terracotta. Will that be in the budget eventually, or
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you know.
that's
so-
just down the road?
He can't pick with so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know,
Is that a priority, you know, comes with priority, or?
yeah, so I don't know if you remember, a couple years ago, we had all those black trucks running around.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that was part of a
Mining.
project that we did, was 2.5 years, with Arcadis was the consultant. Bionomics was the one that had those black trucks everywhere.
Right.
So we did, in kind of the downtown proper, and into Colleton, we stopped at South Boundary just because of the traffic, but then we went up to Hampton. We did about 49 miles of sewer pipe. And it was 6-inch line and larger, and even, you know, terracotta and all. So what the project was to clean all the lines, inspect them, camera them, and then grout joints. So there's a kind of a robot thing that goes in and sprays grout at all the joints.
I'm familiar.
And then we ran a liner in most of them. So kind of like a rubber liner inside them. So that, you know, is going to extend the life of, you know, the pipes that we were able to do with that.
Saved a lot of money.
Yeah, so we extended the life. A lot of them, you know, of course, they're old, so some of them are past their, you know, life expectancy. But, you know, we basically doubled that life expectancy by grouting, because, you know, some of that grout will go outside the joint also and kind of encase it. And then with that rubber, you know, with that PVC liner in it,
Good.
it enhances the pipe and then extends the life expectancy. So we did all of that a couple years back, if you remember all those black trucks.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Certainly.
I think that's all I had questions on.
And then they'll be back next year.
Yeah.
Kinda whatever they get done will move down the line. So, any other questions for Mike from the commission?
No.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your time tonight, bud.
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? Comments, questions? Okay, I just want to make sure, Mario, that we've noted the correction on 3161, engineering at Shaw's Creek. Okay, so let's make sure, I guess you correct that and then go to city council. Okay, any other comments from the audience? Okay, so we'll entertain a motion for approval of the major capital improvements for July 25 to June of 2030.
Mr. Chairman, in regards to the consideration of the 2025 to 2030 major capital improvement program, I make a motion that we move to city council for approval.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Clarkson. Commissioner Matthews with a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. And the motion passes unanimously. Okay, any other comments, questions? All right, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you.